we've been having all week, every morning. My brothers from other mothers. Marcus Farrell, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good, man. How are you? I'm happy to be here. A little disappointed in the debate, but we'll be all right.
All right. We'll talk about it. Mundell, how you doing over there, man? With that $1 million camera you got?
Man, I'm getting closer and closer home, so I'm good. And we're getting closer and closer to the debate, so I'm excited about that as well. Oh, not
That's
the
what's
debate. I'm
up.
sorry, the election.
Well, you know what? You got your lean on. I know you got your, lean. The swag says that you got to lean to a little, but if you don't mind standing up straight for the team. There you go. Now they can see all of your chest.
My
So they're good.
ingredients, all of my
They can see
ingredients.
everything you're working with. So we're just going to take a second and share across all of our platforms. We ask that everybody who's watching go ahead and click the share button, click the like button. We got 40 people, 41 people already, which is a good sign because we haven't shared it anywhere yet. But we're going to tackle the debate from last night. My initial reaction was I was furious initially, but I think I have a different take than I had last night, and I'm curious. What is your first take? Let's start with you, Mundell. What's your very first take from last night?
Um, the vice president candidates were light years ahead of the presidential candidates, as it pertains to policy. I didn't see the end of the debate because my plane took off, but what I did see was Kamala Harris showed out. She did her job as it pertains to what vice presidents are supposed to do in debates or candidates are supposed to do in a debate. And I was a little upset that she didn't push back on Pence when he was lying a little more. So she
Yeah,
let him slide a little bit. But for the most part, compared to what we saw last week, it was 1,000 times better.
I agree on the pushing back against his lies was my biggest that aggravated me the entire night. Marcus, what was your take?
Man, man, that's my take of the debate. Is man. I mean, if you walked into the debate undecided, you probably were a little bit slow already. So that's the first thing, right? Second thing is, if you walked into the debate as a Trump fan, you left as a Trump fan, and if you walked into the debate as a Harris fan, and I mean, it's a damn shame that the most of the most attention that we got was a goddamn housefly, right? That
Yeah,
landed on Pence's head. So I mean, you got to excuse me if, and don't get me wrong, like Kamala Harris, I think she well, I think she did enough. I think she did her job, right? I agree with Mondale, she did her job, but I mean, I think she probably walked away from that thing this morning and last night and all day today, like, damn, I should have said this, damn, I should have said that. And also sign my petition on change.org. We trying to get Sam Jackson to moderate the next two debates. He can't he can't be Django though. He can't be Steven from Django. He got to be Miles.
yeah. Now that was again that was the most infuriating thing for me, man. It was first I want to say the first poll that came from it, the snap poll from CNN, SRSS, said that Kamala won convincingly, 59%.
Yeah.
So that was good, especially if you're trying to beat back fascism. There was a panel of undecided voters. It was 9 men and 4 women, 13 people total. They did a poll immediately afterwards. And those 9 men, that panel of 9 men, said that they thought Kamala was abrasive. I talked about this on the stream last night
That's
after the debate.
sexism.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Because to
sexism,
me,
man.
I think to each of us, I think the one thing that we all would agree on is that we want Kamala to come even harder.
Yeah, I just want her to like I saw her
Right.
like tamping it back because a couple times I saw her look at him like I'm gonna push this plexiglass on top of your plexiglass and you're gonna get your shit fucked up. You keep coming at me like that. Like I literally saw her look at him like that. And when she
Yeah.
checked him and told him, I'm talking, okay? Like this is not just I'm talking, it's I'm talking, okay. And everybody know what that means. That's one of those questions that you don't answer because you might get smacked behind it. So
and,
I'm,
and, and,
you know, I literally believe that there's something more than like sexism in that comment. It's definitely there, but it's also the role that black people are supposed to play when white men are talking, and how you're not supposed to push back on it. That is America at its greatest meaning. white supremacy on display when people say that Kamala that showed up last night was abrasive. If anything, she should have been. If I was her, I would have been charging not just Pence. I'd have been charging up the moderator too for letting him continue to go over and over his time after every answer. And it was like absolutely disgusting the way she was just said, Mr. Vice President, and let it slide. When in actuality, she should have shut him down, because what it ended up happening is he ended up having 4 minutes or 3 or 4 minutes for every question, whereas Kamala would stop on time. Like she was she was told. So I was real upset about that. And that anyone, not just men, but anyone that saw Kamala as abrasive, you're walking around in white supremacy, and it doesn't matter what skin color you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monday, I'm gonna add on to that. Dare I say that was one of America's most public, live, in real time pushbacks on white supremacy. Last night was one of the few times America could see a white man that is used to power, used to having everything go his way, and a black woman actually saying, I really don't care about your power, and it's my turn to talk, and you're not going to overtalk me, right? And that's the one thing that I love the most about the debate was every time she said, it's my turn to talk, right? Every time he said that was supremacy, man. And I mean, I felt my ancestors on that woman. I felt like somebody was talking back to the white cop on that one. I felt like somebody was pushing back on the white that has an oppressive viewpoint on America. So that's the one that I like. I like how she was like, no, it's my turn to talk, and you got to shut up.
Yeah. Marcus, I don't know if you can do anything about your connection. We got what you said. We could hear what you said, but we were losing you here and there. And try to lean into your mic a little bit more, because it seems to have gone down since we did our mic check. So I don't know what that's about. Because during the mic check, it was good. So, all right, so let's do this. I have hella clips. I've got clips for days. Let's take a look at some of the exchange. I do like I did get this much from you, Marcus. It was one of the largest platforms for a black woman to have pushed back against white supremacy publicly on display. You're right. I think historically speaking, I can't really think of another time when something as big as this. The only thing that would be bigger than this would be a black woman running for president in a presidential debate, pushing back against white supremacists. I think that would be the only thing I could think of that would be bigger. So let's take a look at this. Here's the first clip. This is Mike Pence defending his COVID-19 response.
Jesus.
Let's take a look.
Higher than that of almost every other wealthy country. And you have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Susan, thank you. And I want to thank the Commission and the University of Utah for hosting this event. And Senator Harris, it's a privilege to be on the stage with you. And our nation has gone through a very challenging time this year. But I want the American people to know that from the very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first. Before, there were more than 5 cases in the United States, all people who had returned from China. President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done. And that was he suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world. Now, Senator Joe Biden opposed that decision. He said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the White House Coronavirus Task Force, that decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II. And I believe it saved hundreds of thousands of American lives. Because with that time, we were able to reinvent testing. More than 115 million tests have been done to date. We were able to see to the delivery of billions of supplies so our doctors.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't. Let me pull that man off the screen. And
Yeah, please.
Because here's what was going on. And I put it on the screen. Somebody commented from YouTube his non-answers. It wasn't only non-answers because yeah, he didn't answer any of the questions last night, but it was the extent to which he lied and the extent to which conservatism does what conservatism does. Instead of taking responsibility for anything, they're going to find somebody to vilify, right? America had plenty of opportunity to stop the spread of any virus, especially because we had all the warnings from China. But because they chose not to pay attention to what China was telling us, and because they disbanded the actual pandemic response team, what ended up happening was 210,000 people are now dead. And instead of taking any responsibility for it, of course they're not going to take responsibility for it. What do they do instead? Well, they said it's the China virus. Yeah, it's the Wuhan virus. They're using xenophobia and they're using bellicose language, suggesting that they want to have some beef with China over this. So, of course, that's going to be their route. They're going to deflect, deny, and outright lie. Mundell.
Listen, it's tragic that, this president has, I thought it was just the president, but now it seems like it's in his entire administration. And let me not sound too naive. Of course it is his entire administration and the Republican Party as well, trying to pretend and rewrite history as if we didn't hear the recordings with Trump saying China told them everything about this virus way back in January. So for Mike Pence to get on stage and call himself a Christian and lie like that and look at Americans' face, was absolutely disgusting. And also it shows that this is not just Trump's problem. This is also Mike Pence, and he has a role in this. So when we're talking about who's responsible for this 210,000 deaths, we need to go ahead and add his name because he's an adult as well. And he's also the head of the COVID-19 task force. And he too owns this shit. It is absolutely disgusting that he's pretending that what's happening in this country as it pertains to COVID is not their fault. 100%. Absolutely, supposedly, you heard what I said, absolutely, supposedly,
Yeah.
the case was in China, right? I just know that what is happening in this country right now has nothing to do with what the origin of this virus is. What's happening now, meaning all of the deaths in America, is a direct response to this president talking about magic, Cocoa Pops, and fucking whatever else he was talking about was gonna make this shit go away. Hot air, I think he said. And now
Bleach.
Bleach. Now we 3 seasons past the hot air that was gonna make it magically disappear, and it's re-emerging. I think it was 45,000 cases a day now, and we're out here playing games. The death rate in this country per capita or per infection rate is absolutely ridiculous compared to almost any other country in the world. And who does this president call when he get out? He calls this idiot in the UK, Boris, who is nothing but a European version of Trump, and bragging about how he's immune to something that he's infected with, which is absolutely stupid in itself. And then on top of that, I think it says something. It says something that the White House is probably one of the most populated hotbeds in the country for COVID right now.
Yeah. A lot of breaking news on that last night. You had the top security, White House security official who is in grievous condition. Like, he's in serious condition with COVID-19. You have the Joint Chiefs of Staff having a quarantine. You have, I think, the commander of the, I don't know the rank, the official title, the one over the Marines. I think he's tested positive. So
and
you got
Chris is in the hospital.
So we have the White House is a hotbed, and still these, I almost call that man something. These
I know what you almost said, brother.
people take no responsibility, but what they do instead is try to vilify China and push us into a conflict with China. Marcus.
Your president thinks you're an idiot.
Wow.
I mean, it's the presidential administration thinks American people are just straight dumb, and it says a lot for his supporters because they're idiots. You must be.
Oh, Marcus.
Yeah, with Marcus. Yeah, Marcus.
Marcus, we're missing you, brother.
Yeah, you getting chopped and screwed over there. Mundell, your camera's still your camera's finally starting to wake up. Marcus Mundell, your camera is starting to clear up. We can start seeing your features now. And then I went out. But we gonna get it.
Well,
Here's
let
something.
me say something to our audience, and right now, actually, the audience that don't know us, the people that are on your YouTube stream, because I think this is important. We provide probably the best streaming political show or show in general on the internet. What you guys are seeing right now is three
Y'all on the road.
extremely busy people in election season. So we're on the road. Since we've been doing the morning show, I've actually not been at home. And I've been one morning I was home, but I've been traveling ever since. And after election season, we promise you that this show will be as consistent and the filming of it, the logistics of it will be as consistent as the quality of news you're getting from us. So
I do want to say this though. I do want to say this though. Boy, my commitment to this show was really tested this morning, man. I didn't get to sleep. I did not get to sleep till like 1:45 this morning. And I know we missed the run this morning. I appreciate y'all going ahead and running without me. But man, when it was 7:30 and I rolled over and I hadn't even started moving nothing for the day, I sat there and I really thought about it. I said, do I really love these niggas like this? But we got up and here we are. So this show gonna continue. We gonna push through sleepiness. We gonna push through travel. I appreciate y'all taking y'all gear with y'all while y'all traveling, because it's what the people want. It's what the people need, man.
Indeed. Marcus, you back?
I'm trying.
That's that Tallahassee internet. That's what that is.
I think he might be in like Western.
I know he ain't in Tallahassee. He take it with him wherever he go though. It's in his heart and his spirit.
Take it with him.
Ever we go. Let's get another clip in here of these folks. I'm gonna play some of Harris because I don't know if I can handle watching Mike Pence lie twice. So here's Kamala.
What would a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks? You have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Thank you, Susan. Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. And here are the facts. 210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed. We're looking at frontline workers who have been treated like sacrificial workers. We are looking at over 30 million people who in the last several months had to file for unemployment. And here's the thing. On January 28th, the Vice President and the President were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They were informed that it's lethal in consequence, that it is airborne, that it will affect young people, and that it would be contracted because it is airborne. And they knew what was happening and they didn't tell you. Can you imagine if you...
All right, that was the first half of her response. We're waiting on Marcus to come back into the room, and actually let me make sure I get him able to come back in the room. Mondale, what do you think about her response to that question? It wasn't a direct response, right? But she did at least address what she would have done differently at the beginning, because I think that's really the question at this point, right? What would you have done in January of 2020? Not just what are you going to do in January 2021, because if you're not going to do something different than Trump did in 2020, then you certainly aren't going to do anything different in 2021. And what she said they're going to do differently, or what they would have done differently, is actually respond. Actually take the information they had back in January seriously. Actually not downplay the pandemic. What was your take on Kamala?
Yeah, I think that's the best response. I think the response to what would you have done or what would you do when you were elected is to say that I'll do exact opposite of what this administration done. I think the correct response is not what they did. I mean, you could have almost said it there and let it be a little coy answer, but also say that everything that they did was a misstep and continue to do is a misstep. You got a president who should still be in the hospital, barely breathing. And we don't even know if he's past the infectious stage, because what we found out now is he's been lying. He's been risking everybody's lives that he's been coming into contact with, having all of these meetings, and also stopping the government from running because he's the top of it, because we found out that he's not been taking daily tests. He's not been taking daily tests. Like, so we don't know the last time Donald Trump had a negative COVID test, right?
Right.
And that is beyond scary when you think about this guy has been going to different states, having rallies. And while Pence tried to lie and say they having outdoor events, that's a lie. You guys have been having indoor events all over this country. Even the event with the Supreme Court Justice nominee was an indoor event partially, but they just lie about it. Like we don't have pictures of the president sitting at the desk and his wife, who was infected, holding a child without a mask on. She was holding somebody's brand new child without a mask on. So I think that response was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, because
how can you argue off a hypothetical?
Oh boy, when did you get back in here, man?
Clean as a whistle too, right? How can you argue off a hypothetical? And this is what this administration has done. Yeah, we know we killed 200,000 people, but y'all might have killed 2 million people.
But y'all might kill 2 million.
Yeah, how the fuck do you make that? How do you make that argument and make it stick?
Right.
Because you guys think that we're idiots. Like the White House really thinks that, and not like just normal uninformed people, but like really stupid, dumb people. Because what they do all day, what the White House does all day is watch Fox News, right? That's what they do all day. So, and Fox News pits out the biggest amount of bullshit possible. So if they think that the normal American person is watching Fox News, believing anything some white man says who's representing one of the largest corporations in America on their little television show, then they have us really messed up. So I'm going to go back to my theme of the day. The White House thinks you're an idiot. Point blank. The White House thinks you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Marcus,
no, because they are.
Marcus, hold on, Ben. I think Marcus brought a big point. Can you, for people who didn't see the debate, can you expound on that 60 million, like, hypothetical that he was, 2 million or whatever he said, hypothetical he was talking about, because it wasn't even this administration that he was talking about. He was trying to tie into something that didn't happen and make the swine flu more deadly than it was. So can you talk about that a little bit more? Because I think that's important.
Right. So they were pointing at the swine flu and the case that happened here in America. But here's the thing about the case that happened here in America for the swine flu during the Obama administration. It didn't spread because motherfuckers believe in science. It's that simple, right? Like, okay, so let's take this person who has swine flu. Let's isolate this person in a place where everybody who walks into the hospital literally has on all the protective gear. Let's not let this person walk around. Let's shut down the area around him, and let's make sure that the swine flu doesn't spread. So in all honesty, the disingenuous argument that the Trump administration makes about how they think that any Democrat or Joe Biden would have handled it is literally a lie, is literally you asking you not to believe your lying ass eyes. Again, why? Because the Obama administration not only set up a damn office in the White House that Trump shut down, but they stopped the big viruses that happened.
Right. So that's the one of the first lies I think he told, was that when Kamala called him out about shutting down the pandemic response team, he said, no, we didn't. Yes, the hell y'all did. That's how we're in the situation we're in now. They do need them to be as stupid and as ignorant as they actually are. But here's the deal. It's not just that Donald Trump thinks America is stupid. It's that his supporters willingly play the role of idiots in order to continue supporting him. Not only the role of idiots, but sacrificial lambs, right? Because they're the ones dying. They're the only ones that's believing his lies at this point. They're the ones who are still going out. And besides essential workers across the political spectrum, essential workers are still putting their lives on the line, right? But Donald Trump supporters are the ones that are going to these rallies. They're the ones standing toe to toe with each other, loving each other and wearing Make America Great Again hats. They're the ones who are dying just because of sheer stupidity and their ridiculous politics that pushes them to sacrifice their lives along the lines of Herman Cain, right? You got to be real stupid, but you also have to be extremely committed to your bigotry and your ignorance in order to ignore all of the science, which is another lie that he said last night. The fact that, well, we believe science. We're going to follow the science. The science would have told you, or the science did tell you, that wearing masks is probably the number one thing that we could do to prevent the spread as we wait for a vaccine. And what did y'all do? What did your president do? He said he politicized wearing masks. He did not wear a mask until what? May, April, May. Certainly
June.
not in February. Certainly
June,
not
man. I
in
don't-
June.
in
And he
June,
did,
I
and he
don't-
still doesn't like. Don't get it twisted, Ben. Him putting the mask on one time for a photo op ain't really wearing that mask. That mask usually is in his front right pocket on the inside of his suit jacket, not on his suit.
How do you say you're pro-life when you don't even know how to wear a goddamn mask until the last 2 months? You're not pro-life.
So their definition of pro-life is not that. Their definition of pro-life.
I know, man.
Yeah, their definition of pro-life is ridiculous because if they cared about life, they would be anti-death penalty, and we know they don't mind killing people.
Yep. I mean, come on, 210,000 lives at this point. Don't ever tell me you are pro-life. Don't ever tell me you care about the sanctity of human life when you are shoveling lives. You're shoveling human lives on this broken behind economy. Let's take a look at another clip. And again, I'm going to be honest with you. I was frustrated all night because Kamala wasn't actively calling him out on his lives in real time. Neither was the moderator, right? That man lied on one. He didn't answer anything, but when he did choose to answer something, it was an outright lie. Now I was tempted to play some more of his lies, but we had to sit through it once. So let's see. I'm just gonna randomly pick a clip and see what it is. Yeah, chances are he's gonna be lying about something. Oh, here we go.
The Affordable Care Act. So tell us specifically, how would your administration protect Americans with pre-existing conditions to have access to affordable insurance if the Affordable Care Act is struck down?
Well, thank you, Susan. But let me just say, addressing your very first question, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. I'm pro-life. I don't apologize for it. And this is another one of those cases where there's such a dramatic contrast. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Late-term abortion. They want to increase funding to Planned Parenthood of America. Now, for our part, I would never presume how Judge Amy Coney Barrett would rule on the Supreme Court of the United States, but we'll continue to stand strong for the right to life. When you speak about the Supreme Court, though, I think the American people really deserve an answer, Senator Harris.
This is the part right here
I
want to fight.
Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed?
All right, let me pause that because that's the second half of it, and I don't want to miss the first half. We'll take the second half in a second. Talking about late term. This is a regular lie that is told by Republicans, and this is the one that Kamala coulda and shoulda
smashed him on. She's a woman. And he was talking shit about Planned Parenthood, and Planned Parenthood for so many women, black and brown women in this country, is their only medical provider. And what people don't know is very small amount of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion. The rest of that stuff is saving lives. So the fact that she let him slide on that was extremely, extremely bad. And on top of that, this up until the time of birth shit, like she should have shut him down, like about how extreme and silly that argument is.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I think she might have been aghast. I think she might have been like, I think literally she might have been like, this motherfucker is crazy. Like, because it is so, even Republicans know that shit is not true, right?
Right.
Like, if you're a Republican and you got a 19-year-old daughter who gets pregnant and you're against abortion, the conversation that even happened in your conservative ass household is, okay, we only got a certain time period. Mom, I got to go get this thing done before we can't do it anymore. And that's in every single state. So Americans are not that dumb. Like, and so I think Kamala might have been aghast. I think Senator Harris might have been aghast. Like, is this motherfucker serious? And you're right, Mondale. I agree with you. She didn't necessarily take advantage of that situation. But I mean, there's also a human aspect of the debates, right? Sometimes the motherfucker says something that's just so outrageous that you just are like, wow, well, I really can't believe you just said that bullshit.
Yeah, well, Pence on stage looking like the guy from Harry Potter. What's his name? Lord Voldemort. He looks just like him every time he opened his mouth, and I couldn't get past the fact that I'm like, this evil fucking villain is getting away with this, and it was ticking me off. But I think you might be right, Marcus, about the aghast. But I think this also why, if you look at the demographics of people that say that Kamala won his debate, this is why like 80% of women said that she won his debate, probably because of him responding like that to issues that he has no clue about. And in his idea that Donald Trump stands unapologetically with
pro-life.
I don't even give that argument. I don't even call him pro-life. I call him anti-choice. The Democrats let them walk away with that pro-life, like, because if you're pro-life, your policies would save lives. You have killed 210,000 people. By definition, my friend, you are anti-life.
All right, Ben, before you move on to the next one, I do want to say this right here. We have to stop trying to moderate the Republican Party. We have to stop that shit. All right, so my whole political career, and it's been a pretty long one and a decent one, all I've heard from people is ban fracking. Now maybe I'm wrong, but last night I learned that Democrats like fracking, and I did not know that. Right?
Yeah.
So I wish we would stop. And listen, I don't expect Kamala Harris to be a super progressive. That's not what we're gonna get out of this administration. But to lean into the two things that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are trying to do better on, which is like obviously like fracking, which is destroying the environment. So how can you say you believe in scientists if you support fracking, right? And there's a lot of progressive people who are like, what in the hell are you talking about? And more importantly, they didn't do it last night's debate because I don't think Pence can properly handle a conversation about criminal justice reform. But in the previous debate, when Biden was talking about funding the police more, right? Like we gotta lean into some progressive policies. Kamala and Joe Biden have to lean into some progressive policies that have consistently polled well across America, right? Like health care for Americans, Medicare for Americans, even though we know they're not going to say it. It is popular with Americans. So why don't we lean into it? We have to, Kamala and Joe have to develop.
God damn it. How are we 31 minutes into the show and Marcus is going to make Ben give context again, so I have to defend this damn shit again.
Okay. I'm really interested to see what you're about to do because I actually agree with Marcus to the fullest extent.
He said I'm not wrong.
But I'm gonna set it up. All right. This is the part of every single episode where one of us makes an argument that someone disagrees with, and because we disagree with that argument, it ends up putting us in a precarious position of having to defend someone that we really don't want to defend. Just to give you context, previously they put me in a position where I ended up defending Ronald Reagan, and I hope he roasts in hell. Mundell has previously defended the Democratic donor class, and you know what I think about. We all think about donors. And Marcus, you have previously defended the Congressional Black Caucus, which and so I didn't. Come on. I said Ronald Reagan. That's enough. Don't make me admit.
All right.
So that said, Mundell, who are you about to defend, though you don't really want to?
So okay, can I give a caveat to it? I think Marcus is right that the Democratic Party.
We should allow this caveat. We should not allow this caveat.
All right. Okay. Out of respect of the conversation, we're not gonna allow the caveat. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna defend Senator Harris. One, as for real, as a co-sponsor. The first co-sponsor,
Green New Deal,
the Green New Deal, and also the fact that the Biden-Harris environmental plan has a lot of the aspects of the Green New Deal. I also think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's education plan is a shot out to progressives, and also especially Elizabeth Warren and Bernie's plan when we're talking about if you make under $140,000, then education, public education in this country, all the way through college, should be free, and regardless. If you want to go to a community college, it should be free. So I think this is a shot to progressive policies that we don't give them credit for. I also think the defending of, I'm not saying Obamacare is universal care. We know the shortcomings of it, but the idea of how to expand it that is articulated on their website is definitely you see some essence of Bernie pushing them, maybe Elizabeth Warren pushing them how to cover more Americans with healthcare. And I don't think those are small things that progressives should walk away from. I do think it's tacky for them to still be talking about damn fracking and polices in this fucking moment, though.
Okay, all right. So check this out, right? I'm gonna take what you just said, and I'm
bro.
I'm gonna take what you just said, and I'm gonna literally use this against you. All right. Now I believe that make under $140,000 a year should be able to go to a community college for free. Hell, I think they should go to a 4-year college.
No, that's what they said. That's what they said.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, right? But if you're talking about giving police more money in our communities, then how can a black person actually graduate from college to get the free goddamn 2 years of education? We can't. You can't have cross policies that hurt in one aspect and then help in another aspect. On fracking on the coast, if that's hurting people who live on the coast,
Marcus, you're giving people the fire, but they can't hardly hear you, brother.
if you're hurting people that live on the coast.
Oh yeah, wait a minute, wait.
Yes, take them
You
out
mean
your
we've been dealing? You mean all the? No, keep them things out your ear.
Take them things out your ear, bro. You sound so much better.
Oh, I can't hear
You mean to tell me all this time we've been struggling to hear your ass, and all you had to do was take out them fancy AirPods?
Yeah, okay. So
You sound like you're part of the show now.
Speaker.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Hello, America.
Go ahead, bro. You were killing it.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
so go back to my original point. If you can't live long enough to graduate from high school, how the hell is a policy like 2-year education going to matter to communities that have a hard time getting their young men and women to college to live long enough to go to college? Therefore, out of one side of your mouth, you're screaming, let's fund the police, let's give them more money, let's not bring jobs to the community in a rightful way. Let's not work on some way of stopping black people and brown people from getting murdered. Right? And then you say free college. That means that there's going to be a whole bunch of suburban kids going to college with that money who make less than $140,000. Secondly, what about the families of people who live on the coast that fracking is going on? What about those families, right? So you're not going to make it to college if you can't graduate because you're not healthy enough to go to school. Listen, you're going to have a whole progressive package. But I dig what they're saying, but some of this stuff is contradictory, and the reason why we don't lean into this is problematic as hell. That's all I'm saying.
Let me, Ben, after this point, you're probably going to get to the point where you do the other context setting for the people about how you step in. Somebody steps in, but
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just push back a little bit. I definitely think the idea that you need to give more funding to cops is a dumb idea, but I also think this conversation is, especially one that Senator Harris was having last evening, was more nuanced than that. The sister actually said absolutely that we need to be able to prosecute cops. And also, I mean, like she was talking about ways to lessen interactions with black and brown youth with police officers when she said decriminalize marijuana. I don't know if y'all know this. Prop 207 is on the ballot in Arizona. We should definitely be pushing for people to say yes on that proposition to legalize marijuana in Arizona. And I know, Marcus, you're going to say, Negro, you're preaching to the choir. But I'm telling you, the fact that they're talking about decriminalizing marijuana and also working to expunge anybody who has been convicted of marijuana convictions record, that is a big deal. And also, I know for a fact when cops can't stop black and brown youth because they smell marijuana anymore, and that's a reason to stop them, then that too save lives of young black folk. But I hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong, brother, at all.
Listen, I want to talk about 207 real quick because you brought it up.
Wait. I want to say again for the record. Apple should be ashamed at how crappy those microphones are on them earpods, because I actually can hear you, and I'm enjoying what you got to say. So please don't ever put them things back on. Go ahead, Marcus.
I won't. Listen, absolutely zero cannabis reform laws unless there's an attachment to it that black and brown people can own the dispensaries and own grow houses. So I just want to point that out, right? And I don't know if that law actually does that. I'm a fan of legalizing marijuana, but there's also the restorative justice aspect of it where we can start businesses and make a living off of it. And most of these states, if you go to most of these states that have legal or medical marijuana, look around for the black and brown ownership. You will not see any. And I will let us continue from that point right there.
All right,
Yeah,
I want to shift gears.
I think there should be
hurry up, man, because we got to shift
black
gears.
and brown ownership. More than black and brown ownership in marijuana. I think those who have been convicted and lost life and from selling marijuana should
We
actually.
ain't saying nothing different. Like that's literally the same people.
All right, all right, all right. Well, I'm going to jump in here. So
There's some white people making money off of marijuana.
yes, we'll talk about weed in a second. You know, this is my second favorite topic. Donald Trump
your
says
first?
that sex. So Trump
Oh,
Trump
my
says
God.
he won't participate in next debate after commission announces it will be virtual. So the commission on presidential elections this morning announced that they are going to be doing a virtual debate for the next debate. Donald Trump is saying that he is not going to participate in it. He went on Fox Business News and said, I'm not going to do a virtual debate. I'm not going to waste my time on a virtual debate. You know why he doesn't want to do a virtual debate? Let me pull us all back on the screen. I had the article on the screen there for a second, and let me add me. The reason he doesn't want to do a virtual debate is because he can't, one, spread COVID-19. I think they have an active interest in spreading COVID-19. And then two, he's not going to be able to be a jackass virtually without looking even more ridiculous. He can be a jackass virtually, but he's going to look even more ridiculous than he did in person. What are your thoughts, Mundell and then Marcus?
Listen, they're so out of tune. Not just Pence's answers last night or Trump's on the first debate or this entire administration for the past 4 years. They're so out of tune with most of America, and Fox got them in that bubble so big that they don't even understand that Joe Biden does not need another debate.
Right.
For the past month and a half, he's been walking around looking very presidential, and Donald Trump has been helping him with his response to every damn thing. The debate that we saw, the only presidential debate that's of 2020 now, it looked like, Joe Biden won overwhelmingly, like just by letting Trump lose. So them pulling out of this debate does nothing to hurt Joe Biden. Joe Biden is winning because of this. He didn't even need another debate. So Trump is once again putting his foot all the way in the back of his mouth and scratching his esophagus with his toenails.
Marcus, what are your thoughts?
That was good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, Mondale. I mean, listen, me and Mondale argue on this show like cats and dogs, like brothers, right? And every now and then, Benjamin Dixon has to put us on mute, and that's why.
Yeah.
That's why Trump does not want to not be able to placate to his base by over talking someone. It's very simple, right? Trump, because when you are on a one-on-one, just like this right here, right now, no matter how amazingly awesome my next point will be, right, or horrible my point will be, say whatever I want to say.
Until I mute you. You muted, brother. You.
See there? You about to make me use my middle finger on this thing. I don't want to do that. All right.
And that's exactly what Trump would do.
And that's exactly what Trump would do, right? So at the end of the day, when you have someone who is used to the showmanship, you can't have the same kind. Everybody ain't clickbaity political thirst trap. You can't have the same kind of showmanship that we have Donald Trump. You can't have the same kind of showmanship that you would have on a one-on-one and making an intimidating presence for Joe Biden. And that's exactly what he wants. He wants to make a hot mess out of the debate. And if he's on a screen somewhere at the White House by himself, he's going to look like a hot mess on his own. And Joe Biden will get trapped into it. So I
just can't get over the sociopathy of wanting, like, not doing anything to protect anybody else from COVID-19. Like, bro, if God forbid I got infected with that Joan, like, I'm gonna sleep in the basement. I don't even have a basement, bro. I'm gonna be somewhere protecting everybody around me. These clowns actively want to put people in situations where they can catch this virus, and bro, that makes me, I mean, that's a death threat to me. I've been trying to like find ways of saying this without sounding like I'm appealing to violence, but when I see people not wearing a mask, that means they had no regard for my life. And to hear Donald Trump saying that he's insisting on doing this in person when he know he's sick, that's a threat against the life of every person in that room, man. And I think people should take it as such. That said, completely off the topic, we have 482 people watching on YouTube right now, and we only have 111 likes. Now, I know y'all like the show better than that. Come on, let's get it up to
161 on Facebook, too.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody pause. We're going to take a commercial break here. Pause and click that like button, click the share button, click the subscribe button, do all those things. Let's match whenever I do a stream, it gets pretty close. I always have the same number of likes as I have watching. So we got 482 people watching. Go ahead and hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a dime, and it helps beat the algorithm and helps share it. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin P. Dixon. Marcus, tell us where to find you, and we'll go from there.
Hey man, follow me. I'm Marcus for America, and if I had HIV and went and had sex with people unannounced, I would go to jail. So that's how I look at Donald Trump. Anyway, follow me for at Marcus for America on Twitter and Instagram, and Marcus Farrell on Facebook. And please make sure that you check out Clickbaity on Twitter. That's C Thirst Trap at C Thirst Trap, and check out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/clickbaity_political thirst trap.
Mundell, we lost your video. You might have to do the thing I showed you earlier. But since we can still hear you, tell us where to find you.
Yo, I am Mundell on Instagram. Literally, I am Mundell. On Twitter, it's Mundell Robinson. On Facebook, it's Mundell Robinson. Yep, that's me, bro. That's where you can find me.
All right. We'll give you a second to fix. Yeah, get your camera right, and we'll keep the party going. I want to read some of the comments from the audience. I want to see what you all think about Donald Trump trying to force himself. Okay, we got you back. Let me bring you back in. Trying to force himself on Joe Biden. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still worried about Joe Biden from the first debate because he's still not outside of that window, right? It takes 2 full weeks. I think in some cases 3 weeks for the incubation period. And Joe Biden is just entirely too old to get COVID-19, bro. So I'm still concerned about him from the first time. There's no reason in hell. The team, the staff, the reporters, the journalists, anybody should put themselves at risk to be around that man who has infected the entire White House. Like, what? This is sick and twisted.
Bro,
let's see.
He got on a plane and went to New Jersey. He got on a plane and went to Minnesota. He got on a plane and went to 2 or 3 other states, man. This guy, I'm talking about Donald Trump, is absolutely disgusting. And he does not, this is prime example that he don't give a damn about anybody other than Trump. And so much so, like, this is, I tell people all the time, like, as the president, you're not a person, you are an entity. You are the top of the government, and we have the right to know everything about, especially about your health, because this could trigger a lot of shit for this country. This guy is bad news, man. And people not seeing that, people not willing to admit that, is absolutely scary to me. Not to mention the man owes somebody $400 million.
Yeah. Can I put my tinfoil hat on real quick? Dare I say that Trump wants an in-person so he can infect Joe Biden with coronavirus, because he's losing. He's losing. And he needs something to upend this campaign right now, right? And his whole stunt about coming outside and looking hardcore after he had the coronavirus, even though he was using his axillary muscles to breathe, right? We know that the man is weak, right? And they are full of tactics. They're not full of policy. The Trump administration is not full of policy that will make us support them. They are full of tactics to force us to lose. There's a very big difference, right?
Yeah. Well, they are full of policy. I slightly disagree. They just can't tell us what the policy is. They can't tell us that they have every intention of undoing the 20th century, repealing all the labor laws. They can't tell us that they plan on rolling back Voting Rights Act to the point of where it's damn near Jim Crow again. They can't tell us. That's what they want to do. They have a very specific agenda. They just can't ever say it publicly. And that's why it looks like they don't have any policies. And that's why I agree with you. They actively just use tactics to try to win, because they can never tell America what their real agenda is.
John Coffey, it seems that you tuned into the wrong show this morning. And
I blacked his ass already.
And I mean exactly what I said. Go play in traffic somewhere with an extension cord plugged into a shoddy outlet doing a lightning storm. The fuck up out.
Don't mistake our verbosity. And actually, I used that word. That's funny. I used it wrong. Our verboseness. For us not being ignorant as hell, man. We will mollywop everybody in this chat room if y'all coming at the wrong way.
You ain't coming over here with your fake news and your Russian attributes trying to share that shit. And plus, we black folk over here.
and also there is a 95% likelihood that you can't whip my ass.
I would try though. Again, I can't ever get this visual out my head of me trying to swing on your was you 6'4"?
Yeah, and I'm not even trying to be hardcore, right? But you gotta think about some of these trolls online, right? Like,
Yeah.
you are online all day long, right? Like, you would scare me if you got up and went jogging with us. Then I know.
Yeah.
Then I see you, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't see you and you sitting back eating Doritos behind your little screen, talking about, whatever talking point that you're trying, man, fuck out of here. Ain't nobody.
And on top of that, I think my camera.
Wait. We lost your camera. Camera. Pop back in.
I'm gonna bring my camera back. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my camera. But what I will say this, on top of that, who the hell gets up at this time of the morning just to go watch something they don't agree with?
You know what, man? See here, I have a different philosophy on trolls than most people, and I'm learning to respect how other people want their space protected. My philosophy on trolls for the entirety of doing this has been to just confront them head on. And I don't think I blocked the first troll on Twitter until like 4 years after I started. But I understand that a lot of people, right-wing trolls are well paid and they're everywhere because they have so much money to pay them to be everywhere. And so what I'm doing now is actively blocking in our space because they got to deal with trolls everywhere else. You know what I mean? So thinking about it from that perspective, that's why, like, if I see them, I don't even say anything anymore. I just slide in the mentions and block them real quick, because while I would love to just have confrontations with them all day long, it makes for a bad viewing experience for people who all day long on social media have to deal with these paid trolls. So,
right, I mean, I'm not condoning violence in any way, but like, if you go and you search through the internet, for the most part, when it comes down to right-wing trolls and black men, I just want you to like see this, right? Black men normally don't start it in person. If you look at some of the videos, they normally don't start it, and that troll ends up in real life catching a two-piece most of the time. And it's only pop out and it's over with, right? And down goes Frazier.
Right. That's why they insist on Second Amendment remedies. Most of these folks, man, would not want to really get into a scrap, like a straight up scrap one-on-one. And so you have them running around the country as armed militias because, you know, they're compensating. They're compensating for a whole lot of things, but they're also compensating for the fact that they can't put their hands where their mouth goes, right? And so now they're out here shooting people, and that's why we're going to have our own Second Amendment remedies. I don't agree with the politics of the NFAC, but at the same time, I'm glad to see them strolling the streets in all black with their AR-15s and their various assault rifles. So if they want those solutions too,
but I mean,
there's people that got them.
You got to also give a shout out to the Bass Reeves Gun Club, right? Like, everybody, all black armed people aren't, you know, problematic. And I'm not saying that anybody is completely problematic. Like, you go through different gestures when it's time for black folks to arm themselves, right? Yep. It takes a certain different type of mindset to have a gun and be a black person and walk as a group.
Yeah,
right?
It really do.
To have 20 to 50 black people with AR-15s armed like them white people do every single day, walking down the street, you got to be a different kind of human being to be a part of that group.
Bro, you already have accepted the fact that you're gonna die. Like you don't plan on dying. That's why you got your weapon. But you've already accepted there's a good possibility if I'm out here walking with a gun that the police, group or not, that the police will come and crack down on us like nothing we've ever seen. So I just think that they want to be careful with this expectation that they have some type of supremacy because somebody lied to them over the last 5 centuries of history that they are supreme when they're gonna run up on the wrong people on the wrong day.
I think it also. I mean, we just got to remember history, man. Like the idea of armed black folk has been the reason for so much in this country. Mainly, it's also the reason that the military is as large as it is. People don't talk about that. Our military is not big and massive because of a threat other than white fear from what a black uprising was going to be. If you look at the growth in the early days of America of the military, it was directly linked to Charleston's slavery appetite. Charleston would not allow its local militia to be called up by the federal government because they was afraid that the blacks in Charleston, because there was more black people in South Carolina, I'm sorry, not Charleston, but South Carolina, there were more black people enslaved there than there were white people in the state. And they were afraid that it was going to overtake the state, especially after Haiti won its freedom, right? So what that required, it required the other states to send more people. And in turn, it actually required the federal government to eventually centralize the military and also grow it bigger and bigger because of Charleston's appetite. And if you look at what happened when Charleston, even after supposedly slavery ended, meaning the importing of slaves from Africa ended, Charleston defied that law and continued to bring people in and continue to refuse to send their number of allocated troops to the military. So America's military 10 times, 11 times larger than anybody else, especially the next 5 or 6 countries combined, is directly linked to white supremacy. And people don't want to talk about that. So the Second Amendment, the owning of guns, all of that shit was never designed for black people. It was designed to suppress black people. And by suppress, I mean
Hey, Mondale, and since you did it, and before we move on, I just have to give a shout out to one of the greatest politicians of all time, Robert Smalls. Thank you very much, Robert Smalls. Can everybody give Robert Smalls a hand?
Robert Smalls is in the chat room.
Yeah, no, Robert Smalls is the brother who was born in Beaufort, South Carolina, into slavery. Escape.
Oh boy, I'm about to say Robert Smalls. Is he here?
No. He's ever present on this show. Robert Smalls. And if you don't know who he is, look him up. He escaped from slavery. Literally took a boat from the Confederacy and turned that boat into a passageway for black folks.
Oh, that Robert Smalls. Yes, sir.
Yes,
I know the story more than the name. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
well, Marcus called him out because he's in the Navy. Let's just be serious. That's what Marcus talking about. So.
No, I'm talking about because he's a freedom fighter. That's it.
Oh, okay. I mean,
This is wait. Finish telling the story, so because they may not know him by name. They may not know him by name because I missed the name, but they definitely know the story once you tell it.
Robert Smalls was a slave that actually was born into slavery, and one of his main jobs was to take a slave owner around the marshes and the waters around Charleston, Beaufort, South Carolina. He memorized the waterways at a young age. One night when his slave owner went to sleep, he got his family and all his homies on this boat and literally, under the cover of dark, escaped out of Charleston Harbor. Escaped out of Charleston Harbor, passed right by a guard, and if you know anything about Charleston, it's hard to get through that area. Well, he ended up not only getting through, but meeting Lincoln himself, becoming a very valuable asset to the Union, defeating the Union in Navy battles a few times, and then after he was in the Navy, he became a black congressman out of South Carolina. So this brother went from being a slave to being a congressman in South Carolina.
Being enslaved. And Ben, you should absolutely know Robert Small, not because of.
I'm getting roasted. I'm getting roasted in the.
Hold on. Listen, let me tell you. You should definitely know Robert Small, Ben, not just because of the history, but because the motherfucker looked like he one of your ancestors. So if you haven't had time to look up,
he do look like Robert Small.
Yeah, he looks. And that picture where he's sitting in the chair, Ben, you should look him up whenever you have some time.
Okay. No, see, again, I know the story, but I didn't put the name to it, and I'm getting roasted in the chat room. They're like, Ben, he's doing good work with Frederick Douglass right now. I'm like, okay, all right. I could take it.
He just
Listen.
Douglass didn't do. He didn't sell.
What's that?
He out in older age. Frederick Douglass is a problematic fucking figure. The older he got.
Somebody. Okay. I'm trying to find him. Tamara in the chat room. I'm trying to find him, but we are. Let's see. No. So we got some fresh trolls, a whole fresh batch of trolls. Like I said, listen, anytime we go live, we get a whole fresh batch of trolls, man. They are paid. These folks are paid money to do it. And this is not hyperbole. I know this for a literal fact that they are being paid to troll. And then even if they're not being paid, you got to be really dumb to be doing this for free. for you to be showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning to troll somebody's program and you doing it for free. My kids are up anyway.
And this ain't the show to troll because we are so petty. We'll take 10 minutes and go in on your ass.
Yes.
Start researching your profile and just clown you. And the last troll that trolled us got fired from the farm he was working on because I went and found out who he was.
Oh Lord.
Smuckers. So don't.
Oh, you went deep, bro. I didn't know you did it.
Go away, bro. I am petty.
Hey, Mondale has a 7th gear of petty.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
Let me tell you how petty I am, Ben. There was a woman who lied on me, right? There was a woman who lied on me. I literally took this woman to court. In Virginia,
Over a lie?
Her lie was in Virginia. Her lie is a criminal lie.
Oh wow. But what I want to know.
So I took
Remember the episode we were doing, and you were upstairs in the common area,
Yes.
and your white neighbors were refusing to.
Yes.
They came in and got extra. How did that play out? Because I was worried. I was worried they're gonna call the cops on you.
Yeah, so I literally almost got in a fight that night. I do not condone violence, but I am a firm believer in you need to try Jesus and not me, because I will throw hands, and I'm petty like that, and not in a way where no, I'm just petty. Fuck it. So what happened was I went downstairs, got a big ass speaker, and
So you did do that.
yeah, I went downstairs, got a big ass speaker, and came back up there with a glass of whiskey and played Try Jesus. Just blasted my speaker at them and just looked at them. And of course, one of them had something smart to say. The white guy who had a black wife, he fucked around and called me a bitch. And
Oh Lord.
my wife was like, "Why'd you call that man out his name?" And then literally, I went to start to talk to him in a very
That should have been one of those moments where it's like, honey bun, listen, I know we're cool. I know we're together, right? Honey bun, listen, I know we're together, but what you don't what you don't need to do right now.
yeah. It was. I think she was trying to get him there.
Like my brother's face. He has my brother's face when he gets really angry, and I saw him do bad things. So, honey, just
Yeah. So basically, what happened was she left out the room because she was a little nervous. But I had a real heart to heart to him about that word, bitch. That word.
Yeah. Somebody wants to be a moderator. Okay, I'll let's talk. I'll see if we can make you a moderator. We need more moderators, bro. And again, like as much as I live for fighting trolls. You know, you guys have to deal with it everywhere on social media. Somebody mentioned a movie. There's a documentary that goes into the Russian troll farms. I just saw the name of it and then I lost it. And I think, Agent of Chaos. Let me put this one on the screen. Agents of Chaos. And it's from, it goes into the nature of the troll farms that we've been talking about. So anyway, fellas, we coming up on that hour mark, man. And I don't know, maybe when we start making some money off of this, we'll do a full 3-hour radio show broadcasting across the country where we just kicking it on, politics and shenanigans. But y'all want to cover anything else before we get out of here?
Here's what I want to say. Tell your wife to get her ass out the damn background with the damn gown on.
Oh man! Well, you know what? What's good?
Is his blood?
They can't see it. You put my wife on blast.
Sorry about that.
But you try to look out for her.
Yeah, I'm trying to go. Like, what the hell going on back there?
They said they saw your silky gown, babe. They were like they worried about your gown, but
that crazy stuff.
the folks on your the folks on the internet didn't see it.
Marcus, hey, Marcus, is this an OnlyFans page?
Bailey Wilson wants to know, do I ever sleep? I didn't really sleep much last night, and I am gonna go. I'm gonna sleep after this because I was committed to these fellas, and because I want them to be committed to running again in the morning. So I was like, I can't miss the run this morning and miss the show because then they're gonna be upset. And we ain't gonna have no show. So that said, I got out of bed after having 2 hours of sleep. It might have been 30 minutes of sleep. I don't even know. It could honestly. I don't even think I closed my eyes. But we here and we had to do the show because it's important. It's important for the culture and it's important for the truth. Marcus, get the last word. I think who got the last word yesterday?
It was Mondale.
I was supposed to, but y'all came in at me. Y'all got mad.
It's my turn. That's right, because you tried to violently told us shit yesterday. All that shit. Hey, listen. Your president owes somebody $400 million. That's right. Your president, your motherfucking president owes somebody $400 million, and you bet hope it's not a foreign country. But I have a funny feeling that it is.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Now listen, if I miss 2 cents on taxes going to McDonald's, somebody gonna follow me out the restaurant and find me. This dude only paid $750. $750. I want everybody to understand this. First off, somebody give that man some money. I want an American human being who is a billionaire to give Trump enough money to pay off his bills. Why? Because until he gets out of office, our country is probably ran by whoever he owes that $450 million to.
Trump debt looked like that.
That's right.
Russian roulette,
Trump
baby.
Trump debt looks like foreign money right now. So do me a favor. If any billionaires are watching, and I'm talking about stupid billionaires, right? And I know y'all already own the country. I know y'all are already oligarchs. I know y'all don't want us to have health care, and I know y'all want to make a lot more money. But at least keep our problems American. With that, thanks for watching Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap.
Well, hold that thought, because we got a lot of requests for y'all social media accounts. If y'all would give it to them one more time, and actually, if you don't mind going over to the YouTube chats, or I might can even put them on the screen, but say them out loud first. Let's start there.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm Marcus for America.
The number 4 America.
For America on Twitter and Instagram. And I am also Marcus Farrell, Marcus Ferrell on Facebook. You can follow my page.
I am. Y'all say hello, Kitty. I am. I am Mundell on Instagram. Literally, I am Mundell. On Twitter, I am Mundell Robinson, and Facebook, I'm Mundell Robinson.
I just want to read this, and then we really get out of here, because they asked us to talk about The Fly. I'm gonna put this little poem my sister wrote last night in response to The Fly. It's on the screen now. She said, "My, Mr. Fly, why sit there? Do you detect a lie? No, that's not it. More like I detect a little shit."
Yo, that's gorgeous.
And with that, we will see you all with more shenanigans in the morning.
Bye, y'all.